Our moves to uplift lower wage workers through workfare and progressive wages are showing results. Over the past 5 years, our lower wage workers have consistently seen higher income growth than those at the median. So we will continue with our efforts to uplift the incomes of lower wage workers. Last September, we expanded the PWM to workers in the retail sector. Next month, workers in food services as well as administrators and drivers will come on board. And in July, we will cover workers in waste management. And taken together, our progressive wage approach covers the vast majority of lower wage workers. So the moves we are making will have a positive impact in uplifting their salaries over the coming years. Beyond these PWM sectors, we are charting out skills-based career ladders for tradesmen in key essential services like plumbers, electricians, and aircon mechanics. And earlier this month, the labour movement mooted the career progression model, a new framework which will uplift the work prospects and wages of skilled essential tradesmen and professionalise these trades. And the government will support the labour movement in these efforts. We are also focusing on new entrants to the workforce, especially our ITE graduates, which Mr. Desmond Chu and others spoke about. We are equipping them with industry-relevant skills and a strong foundation for future learning. In fact, through programs like work study and technical diplomas, ITE graduates are seeing better employment outcomes with median starting salaries that are comparable to those of polytechnic diploma graduates. So these are positive indications, and we will continue to do more. So the government will do our part, but we will not be able to narrow wage gaps on our own. Singaporeans need to chip in too. As consumers, all of us must be prepared to pay more for services delivered by our fellow Singaporeans, be it the cleaning of our housing estates, air-conditioned servicing, security, or retail. But most importantly, we must treat everyone with dignity and respect and value everyone for the work they do. And that is why we join our brothers and sisters in the NTUC to affirm that every worker matters. This is not just a slogan, it is a fundamental tenet undergirding our entire approach of nation building. And besides dealing with inequality, we must ensure that social mobility remains alive and well in Singapore. We have done better in this aspect than many other advanced economies. But any society which has been stable for a long time tends to stratify, and that's why we must collectively lean against this tendency and do more to uplift disadvantaged groups. Here, support in the early years matters critically, and that's why we've been making significant shifts on early childhood over the past few years, and we will do more to narrow the preschool enrollment gap between children from lower income households and their peers. We are also helping lower income families tackle the complex and multifaceted challenges they face holistically and through better coordination. And I spoke about that in the budget. Today, we have different government agencies overseeing different schemes. HDB has a Fresh Start housing scheme, MOE has its Uplift initiative, ACDA has Kids Start, and so on. But in the end, our approach cannot be scheme-centric. It must be family-centric. And that's why we are streamlining common functions like outreach, befriending, and case support under Comlink to serve the 14,000 families with children living in rental housing. The officers engaging these families take a different approach. They do not just promote specific government schemes. Their starting point is the needs of the families, to find out their concerns and what we can do to support them, such as helping them secure a better job, or ensuring that their children attend school regularly or have a conducive environment to study in. And we are seeing many success stories of families being uplifted through this approach. It requires much more work and effort on the part of our officers. It also requires us to work closely with social workers and community partners on the ground. But ultimately, it is the best way to encourage and empower families to achieve success and to sustain their progress. Tackling inequality and sustaining mobility is really about making our system of meritocracy work well for all Singaporeans. And in fact, we've long recognized the problems with an unbridled and winner-takes-all meritocracy, which Mr. Leon Pereira spoke about. And that's why we've set out to achieve a more open and inclusive meritocracy over a decade ago. We are not done yet, and we are actively working on all fronts to minimize social barriers and encourage mobility, because this is what Singapore has always been about and must continue to be.